Hey love bugs, it's Kristen. So today I just kind of wanted to take a moment to talk to you about mental health. If this video does not pertain to you, like you have a very good therapist that listens to you, you love, helps you, doesn't treat you like you're just a part of their job and they're just trying to get a paycheck, then I'm so happy for you because a lot of us don't have that kind of luck in the mental health field. At least I didn't. When my sister passed away, I went through probably 5 therapists in the span of 2 months. And all of them just kept leaving the practice. And it was so frustrating for me because it was like my sister's death was very fresh and I was having to re-explain the story. And they don't get it. At least for me, again. Every time I've ever talked to a therapist, they've made me feel like, what time is it? I'm ready to go home. I'm ready to get this paycheck. And I understand there's a certain limit as to how much you're able to really feel with your client because it's not healthy for them. But some of us already feel like nobody really cares. So when you talk to a therapist about it and they're making you feel like, well, time's almost up, I gotta leave because I gotta go cash this check. It's like, thanks. Again, I don't want to offend anybody, even if you're a therapist. I'm not trying to offend you. You may be a wonderful therapist and you may really, really have the intent in your heart to help people, but my experience with it, my sister's experience with it, my mom's experience with it has done nothing for us, especially mental health institutions. Let's take a moment to talk about that. I've been to 2 institutions in my life, behavioral clinic, whatever you want to call it, and both times sucked. I felt like I was going to jail for being sad. Imagine being sad and desperately needing help and they throw you in jail and make you feel like you're 5 years old and they're watching you at daycare. They don't really help. Anytime that I've ever came out of the hospital, I didn't see any benefit from it. I didn't see any change. I really want to use some of my platform to bring light to this matter because it has always made me angry. I went not that long ago to try to get a new therapist and I was like, okay, I'm gonna try again. For like the 10th time, I'm gonna try again. Drove about 2 hours away to get there and I was 15 minutes late because I was caught up in traffic and they refused to help me because it had to be a certain limit of time. They're like, sorry, you're 15 minutes late. There was still like 30 minutes. And I was like, you can't just talk to me in like 30 minutes. No. Sorry, you got to go. I said I drove 2 hours to get here. And I just lost my sister. Sorry. I don't know what to tell you. She won't see you today. Really? So what did you go do in those 30 minutes? Go get lunch while I cried all the way home?
What if I was suicidal? What if that was my last straw?
I mean, you have people that have been through unimaginable shit. Stuff you probably have never been through, and you're just gonna throw them away because they don't match your schedule. It's hard for some people to reach out and get help, but then you just throw us away like we're nothing, and you're probably sitting back in your office watching TikTok or eating food. Like I said, all therapists may not be like this. If you're a therapist, you may not be like this. But if you are, you need to open your eyes because you can look at my whole platform. Some of these people are freaking sad. I read my comments and I see the things that all of you have been through. It's really sad for us kids to think that there's never gonna be any kind of hope, any kind of betterness because nobody is willing to help us or make us feel like we're anything more than a paycheck or something on a calendar. And the mental health institutions. Mental health institutions are where people are at their lowest and there's no other choice. And they stick you in there where they throw you in a padded room if you get emotional, upset, or have a panic attack. They throw you in a padded room. If you want to call your parents, if you want to call somebody to talk to them, they're like, it's not phone time yet. Phone time? It's like jail. It's straight up prison. My mom attempted suicide after my sister passed away. She got thrown into a hospital, handcuffed to the bed, all because she wanted a cigarette. They treat us like we're some whack jobs when really she was just sad about her daughter being dead. And the best you can do for her is handcuff her to a bed because she can't get a cigarette? I remember one girl when I went for my sister's passing, she had acted up that day, I guess. And they threatened to put all of us in our room for the entire day. One of y'all messes up, y'all all get in trouble. Not only do they treat us like we're in jail, they treat us like we're elementary schoolers. When you're at your lowest, that's like the biggest amount of help you can get, and it's like that. Kids are gonna go home and reattempt and make sure that they don't mess up. And it's sad. And everybody in the institution that I've talked to, they get it too. It's so sad because you make a friendship with a person inside the hospital. You get attached to that person because they're actually helping you. And then they don't let you get each other's numbers. They don't let you get each other's social medias. For why? For why? Just pausing for a quick second to tell you about this wonderful soul I met the last time I was in there. She would go around and be like, would you like to vent to me? Because I'll listen and I'll try to help. Because nobody in here that should be doing that is. So maybe you can go home and say you got some kind of support from somebody. And she had her own little practice name and everything. And obviously she herself was going through a lot. There was so many seemingly happy and funny people in there that were actually the saddest, had the saddest stories, and were going through the most. You build a friendship with these people. You both are going through the same things during your stay, and you relate to each other as to why you both ended up at this place. It is devastating having to leave these people, knowing you'll never see them again and can't even get so much as a goodbye hug. Till this day, there are people I still wonder about. People I still wonder if they got through some things they told me about, or if they're even alive. It actually makes leaving harder than it is being there. Both times I questioned leaving because of this. On top of getting no help from the institution, it ends up making you even more sad. It's just one of the many, many things I wish I could change amongst this field. But let's get back to the video. This is how the process went when I went back in July, I think, of 2020. They wake you up at 7 a.m. They take you into this little tiny room filled with every girl in your hallway, which would probably be like 10, 15 people. And then they give you a journal and they ask you a dumb journal question. And then they make you read it in front of everybody. So you can't even really express your feelings because you're gonna have to read it and kind of be embarrassed. I got a little too frustrated to tell you what happens after you do the journal work. My bad. But basically they just shove you with busy work. They literally give you like kindergarten coloring sheets, which can be fun, and second grade math work. Then when they decide to feed you, they walk you to the cafeteria in a line, kinda like elementary school, and then they send you back to the same room to continue doing busy work. At some point during the day, you do get to go to this little gym they have, which can be fun. Still gives elementary, but is better than that tiny room. They also send in a counselor to talk to the entire group, not individually, so you're not even really getting help with your own personal problems. Quick disclaimer. In no way am I trying to discourage you from getting immediate help if you need it. Because I have seen TikToks of people inside one of these institutions happy and getting the help that they need. So I'm not saying that it isn't a possibility for you to get help at one of these places. I'm just saying the fact that there are places like the ones I went to where they don't help is a problem that needs to be fixed. I'm a firm believer that everybody deserves mental help just as they would physical help, and it needs to be normalized in every hospital. Anyway, let's get back to the video again. It just makes me so angry because I know a lot of people that are at their lowest, and then when they get the highest amount of help there is, it's like, how will I ever get better if this is all that can help me? And it just makes me sad that the mental health workers make you feel that way. I understand, again, having to be numb at a certain extent to it because you can't let yourself fall in it, but don't treat us like we're nothing because we're kids that need help. It just makes me angry. It just makes me mad. I wish I could change it. I remember one time when I was in a mental health hospital and I had moved my beds together because the beds are like, it's like smaller than a twin bed and you can't even really turn over. So I moved the beds together because it would probably make a whole twin. And the lady came in there shining her flashlight at me and was like, you can't do that. You need to move them. You need to move them, like 4 o'clock in the morning probably. And I was like, so she said, get up, get up, get up. And I got up and she moved my beds apart and she said, don't do it again. How is that helping somebody that's sad? We need support. We need people that care. We need people that listen. How do people even have the heart to work at a place like that and be so mean? Be so controlling, like telling us when we can or cannot call our family, what we can or can't do, when we can or can't eat if we're hungry, when we can or can't drink if we're thirsty, when we can or can't go to the bathroom. I'm not saying like it should be like a spa vacation. And again, I understand protocol, but geez, act like you care a little bit. Like my mom, she went to the hospital, like the regular hospital, and they handcuffed her to the bed because she wanted a cigarette. And they wouldn't talk to her. She would ask them questions and they just wouldn't answer her. Like she attempted suicide and they were just like, you're crazy. I ain't talking to you. I've had people, you know, ask me, I'm kind of thinking about going to an institution, and I'm like, it just hurts me because I know that they're sad and I know that they're yearning and seeking for help, but I'm like, I mean, you can try, you can go to different places than I did, and I really hope that they're better for you because you can come out lower than you actually were going in, and that's not the way it should be. Now granted, on TikTok, I've seen people have their phones in the place, like take TikToks in there and seem like they're doing good, wearing hoodies and everything. You really should not get into the mental health field if your main concern is your pay. Your main concern should always be helping those in need. It's that simple. Let's try to change it. Let's try to reach somebody that cares. If you're watching this video and you're in the mental health field, look at those kids that you're working with. If you were at your lowest, if you were at rock bottom, if you had just been through something that tore your world apart, would you want to be treated the way you're treating them? Would you want to be in that situation if you were at your lowest? We're not all crazy. Again, we're sad. And if you were sad, would you want to be treated like that? Think about that. If you're in the field and you're watching this, change, because you're just making it worse for kids when they get out. I remember getting out and it's a really bad sense of hopelessness, and it shouldn't be that way. Your number one goal should be to help and to comfort and to be there for and to listen and to care. And if you don't need to be in there. These kids should not be treated like this. These adults should not be treated like this. I've seen the adult unit too. They treat them the exact same way. I really wish I could make a change because, like I said, at least for me, my experiences were shit when I needed somebody most. I could probably use somebody right now. I'm too tired to try again because it just never works out. I've been told that something was my fault. I don't know. Me and Mom have both been told to write letters to Sissy. Who's ready to do that? I will never be able to really sit down and like write her knowing she's not there. It's kind of a cliche thing. You may have been told to do that too. I don't know. It just needs to change, and maybe we can all come together to change it because it's really not right. And I just wanted to bring some light to the subject, and maybe you can help me. So drop in the comments how your experiences have been in the mental health field, and let's talk about it. Let's bring light to it. Let's try to change it. It's really not right the way they do us when we really just want help. Me and Mom both have been at our lowest and didn't receive help that we should have gotten. Me and Mom both could use it right now, but we're just too tired. Nobody should ever feel like that. And I'm sorry if you do. And I'm happy if you don't. I love you guys so much. I hope you take some of this in, because I know I'm not the only one that has dealt with this. I've talked to many people like it. But I hope you related. Well, no, I don't hope you related to this video, but I hope everybody got something out of this. But I love you guys so much. Don't forget to drop in the comments how you feel. And let's try to bring light to this matter. I'll see you guys later. I'm irritated. Girl. Anyway, I love you guys so much. Think about it. Okay, bye.